Hello guys, we just arrived to the former capital of Yugoslavia, Beograd, which is today's capital of Serbia. It's an interesting town because we are now outside of the Eurozone, outside of the EU zone and everything related to those kind of things. So actually we both received our passport stamps, and now we are on our way to the old town, which we actually just arrived, and you can see a small glimpse of it here while we are walking. This town here, or the city of Beograd, my first impression reminds very much of Zagreb. So one thing when you are in Belgrade, you should definitely visit this bookstore here, where you actually can buy books in English. So we just bought a few stuff here. We bought this cooking book here, where, well, this is sealed, but we watched it in the store, and it's full of Balkan dishes, which is very fascinating. And as we always do in each city and country we go to, we collect these magnets. So this bookstore there, very fascinating, because they sell a lot of books in English about Balkan history, Serbian history, you name it. And of course the great king himself, Nikola Tesla, the important physicist who intervened with electricity for the first time. See, Nikola Tesla is there pictured, and I'm gonna show you guys now just how it looks like. So as you can see here you have the king himself with the famous formula he invented when he intervened with electricity. And even the airport here in Belgrade is called Nikola Tesla's famous airport, basically Nikola Tesla Airport. Baroque Olmegdan Park, which is the park where you have to go through in order to get to one of those landmarks, the Belgrade Castle. And you have all these stores here selling magnets. And also, if you look over there, Vladimir Putin is on the t-shirt there even. This Soviet Vyshyvanka hat. So we're basically walking around in the Belgrade Fortress area, which is around here. And what I read about it was that this castle here has survived tremendous many wars. I think I read that it was like around 10 wars that it survived, which is quite crazy to think about. And it still stands. But anyway, look at this beautiful river. It's the Danube River, which is basically the same river we can see in Hungary, and that is quite fascinating. So this river here, it's a tree cross, because on that down there, it's a river called, let me see if I can pronounce it correctly, Sava, and Danube River is over there, which is the longest river in all of Europe, and also one of the longest rivers in the world, after Volga, of course. And basically this is the Serbian side of it, which is quite fascinating, because we just watched the Hungarian side of it approximately 1 month ago when we went to Hungary, and now we are here in the southern part of the continent and actually watch the Danube River from Belgrade and from the top of this fortress there, which is pretty cool. So as I told you, this fortress here has survived tremendous wars all the way back to the 90s when the big Yugoslav wars happened. So basically, just to explain you guys shortly about Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia was a big country from around 1921 until 1992, which consisted of a Slavic nation, which was basically the idea behind it. And their leader was a guy named Joseph Tito, which at the time when he became leader after World War II was quite a successful leader, and he wanted to reunite all the southern Slavic countries into one big nation. It happened to be a bit more problematic than that, and several wars broke out after he died in 1980, because this country here, Yugoslavia, consisted of Slovenia, Croatia, Serbia, which was the main country, North Macedonia, today's North Macedonia, Montenegro, and Kosovo, and I forgot the last name, Bosnia-Herzegovina, of course. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so those 6 or 7 countries, depending on how you look at it, because Kosovo is still considered part of Serbia from this point of view, and that's very visible everywhere in this country. Well, just to explain you shortly about Kosovo, it consists of 95% Albanians, and they have tried to gain independence, and latest in 2008 it was recognized by almost half of the UN states to be an independent nation. It still needs more votes in order to get into the UN, but let's say around half the world recognize Kosovo as independent. But Serbia, of course, is not recognizing Kosovo's independence, and I'm not gonna go too deep into that political issue because I don't have enough knowledge about it. But let's say it's a bit problematic with Kosovo, and it's very visible here that Kosovo belongs to Serbia, because in all maps that you see in this country, Pristina is not a capital, it's just a city inside the southern part of Serbia. Oh, this weather here is extreme. I never expected it to be this cold in March. It's even snow here. Like, yeah, now it's no snow, but it was snow like a minute ago. And that is quite abnormal, I would say. Oh, dog there. I don't have the right. We bought a SIM card yesterday. It costed around €5 for a prepaid SIM card with 50 gigabytes of data memory. You can call abroad, I think, almost unlimited, which is pretty much, we're just staying here for 5 days, but we definitely have enough data. We can actually stream 4G in the evening time. We don't need to be dependent on Wi-Fi at all, and we still won't be able to use up 50 gigabytes of memory. It's pretty cheap here. If you compare to West or North European price, it's a luxury. Like, for example, a week ago, we arrived back in Norway and we bought a prepaid card there, which costed €8 for 75 megabytes of memory. It ran out after 10 minutes, so we had to fill 1 gigabyte or 2 gigabytes or something for 150 kroner, which is €15. crazy compared to the price in this part of the world. So do buy a prepaid SIM card, because if you're traveling from a Eurozone, from basically wherever outside of the Balkans, you will need a SIM card here, because your Euro card, I'm talking about the SIM card, won't work here without extra cost. So yeah, we're basically just finding our way out of this Belgrade Fortress Park. It's so cold in Belgrade, as I mentioned several times, that we will try to find a cafe to drink a coffee and get some heat into the body before exploring more of the city. And we saw a shopping mall with a Norwegian flag actually on outside of it. I think it was a Norwegian flag. Yeah, I think it's a brand. Yeah, I think it's a Norwegian brand. Yeah, so as I saw, it's a Norwegian flag on top of the, in the middle of the window square there. Probably a Norwegian brand or something. And here we have a Starbucks. Maybe go into a Starbucks. And here, this street vendors here, they sell all this vyshyvankas, which is old Soviet hat with the communist symbol, which is pretty interesting to see. And here we have the old Soviet-style hotel Moskva. Hotel Moskva, as it's written on the top of the building. That's true, actually. Yeah, that's true. I don't need that now, but let me just take a look. But very cool to see. So yeah, this hotel here which is pretty cool.